Chloe stands in her opulent library, staring out at the picturesque view while feeling trapped in a gilded cage, longing for freedom as the sun sets over the horizon. In the fragrant sanctuary of the Orchid Conservatory, Chloe and Caleb share a stolen moment filled with unspoken desire, their connection deepening amidst the vibrant blooms that surround them. In the imposing white living room filled with portraits of past lives, Chloe's laughter breaks the silence, momentarily lifting the heavy veil of expectation as she shares a light-hearted moment with Caleb. In a moment of fiery passion, Chloe and Caleb unite in a desperate kiss that defies the constraints of their worlds, binding them together in a reckless embrace filled with the promise of freedom. In an instant, Chloe recoils from Caleb's embrace, dread filling her heart as she hears the subtle creak of the door opening, signaling the return of Archer and the looming threat of exposure. Chloe's heart pounds in her chest as Archer's imposing silhouette looms in the doorway, the reality of their indiscretion hanging heavy in the air, forcing them all to confront the consequences of their choices. With a mixture of fear and determination, Chloe braces herself to confront Archer, aware that their lives are now irrevocably intertwined in a confrontation that will change everything. As Chloe holds Archer's piercing gaze, the atmosphere thickens with unresolved feelings, forcing her to confront not just the reality of their relationship, but the depth of her own sacrifices. With her heart racing, Chloe finds her voice and begins to assert herself, challenging the illusions that have dictated her life while Archer grapples with the revelation of her hidden truth. In a moment of raw honesty, Chloe steps forward to face Archer, fueled by a mix of fear and courage, challenging the very foundations of their tumultuous relationship. With each word, Chloe unveils the truth of her existence, her yearning for liberation cutting through the tension, forcing Archer to confront the fragile reality of their marriage. As Chloe boldly asserts her desires, the air thickens with uncertainty, leaving Archer to grapple with the shifting power dynamic that threatens to unravel the carefully constructed life they have built together. In a moment of unexpected vulnerability, Chloe lays bare her soul, challenging Archer to confront the reality of their relationship and the emotional distance that has grown between them. As Chloe braces herself for Archer's reaction, the living room transforms into a battleground of emotions where love, anger, and confusion intertwine in a tense silence. In a moment charged with emotion, Archer confronts Chloe about her choices, his words cutting through the silence and forcing both of them to confront the reality of their fractured relationship. As Chloe steels herself against Archer's piercing gaze, the atmosphere thickens with unresolved tension, signaling a turning point in their relationship that could shatter their carefully constructed lives. With a mixture of courage and trepidation, Chloe approaches Archer, pleading for him to understand her yearning for honesty and freedom, igniting a pivotal moment that could redefine the very essence of their marriage. In a moment of raw vulnerability, Chloe pours out her heart, hoping to reach Archer as he wrestles with the painful truths of their relationship, igniting a spark of potential reconciliation amidst the chaos. As Chloe edges closer, her heartfelt appeal lays bare her desire for freedom and authenticity, compelling Archer to confront the emotional walls he has built around himself. With unguarded sincerity, Chloe paints a picture of a future filled with authenticity and connection, urging Archer to consider breaking free from the constraints that have defined their lives. As Chloe's heartfelt vision resonates within Archer, the weight of their shared history hangs in the air, prompting him to consider embracing change for the sake of their future. In this pivotal moment, Chloe holds her breath, yearning for Archer to embrace the possibility of change, aware that their future hangs delicately in the balance. With tentative hope, Archer moves closer to Chloe, hinting at a willingness to explore the depths of their relationship, recognizing that vulnerability may be the key to healing their fractured bond. In a moment filled with promise, Archer's tentative touch reassures Chloe that he is ready to embrace the vulnerability of love, opening the door to a new chapter in their lives. As they stand together, a silent promise passes between them, signaling the beginning of a transformation where love and authenticity take precedence over their past struggles. In that transformative moment, Chloe's hopeful smile reflects the possibility of a brighter future, while Archer embraces the prospect of change, signaling their commitment to navigating their journey together. With a renewed sense of hope, Chloe envisions a future unfettered by the confines of their past, while Archer acknowledges the transformative power of vulnerability in shaping their relationship. With each word, Chloe paints a vivid picture of hope and renewal, inviting Archer to join her on a journey toward authenticity and connection, where their love can thrive unencumbered by the past. There, framed in the doorway, stood Archer. He did not erupt. He did not utter a word. He simply stood, his frail form propped up by his elegant, cruel cane, his face a mask of such profound shock it had drained all color, leaving him the shade of the Carrara marble statues in the hall. But it was not his pallor that shattered me. It was his eyes. I was braced for volcanic rage, for the blistering fury of a king whose throne had been defiled. But in his old, weary blue eyes, I saw something far more devastating. A grief so deep and absolute it seemed to swallow the light in the room. It was the look of a man who had, against his own better judgment, allowed himself a final, fragile hope, only to watch it be deliberately smashed at his feet. "Chloe," he said, and my name was not a shout but a whisper, a final, quiet epitaph for whatever illusion he had cherished. I thought I had truly begun to hope that with time, his voice, usually laced with the authority of command, was thin and fractured. He could not finish. He simply turned, a slow, painful maneuver that spoke of age and a broken spirit, and retreated, leaving Caleb and me stranded in an ocean of our own making, drowning in shame and a terrifying, uncertain future. Caleb's hand shot out, gripping my arm with an urgency that bordered on pain. "We have to go. Now, Chloe, we can just leave. We can start over, just us," he hissed, his eyes wild with a fight-or-flight panic. But I was paralyzed. I was not looking at my savior at my escape. My gaze was fixed on the empty space where the old man had stood. I saw the slight stoop of his shoulders, the slow, defeated shuffle of his departure. And in that single seismic moment, the entire architecture of my ambition, the spreadsheets of future wealth, the patient endurance, the glittering prize, collapsed into meaningless rubble. The millions of dollars, the properties, the jewels, all transformed into a hollow, worthless currency. The only thing of any true, undeniable value was the terrifying, all-consuming love I felt for Caleb. I loved him. It was the most authentic and powerful emotion of my life, and its ultimate proof was the catastrophic ruin it had wrought. We fled that night like thieves, which in a way we were. We took only what we could carry, abandoning the diamonds in their vaults, the couture gowns in their closets, the suffocating gilded security of that life. Now we exist in a small, beige apartment in a dusty corner of a state whose name I had only ever seen on a map. Caleb labors until his muscles ache and his hands are permanently calloused for a construction company. I am learning the intricate language of coffee, my wrists now familiar with the weight of a portafilter instead of a diamond bracelet. We are poor. The floorboards creak, the neighbors argue, and the future is a frightening blank page. But we are together. In the deepest, most silent hours of the night, I often lie awake, and the ghost of that other life visits me. I do not mourn the lost luxury or the easy comfort. I am haunted by Archer. I am haunted by that look in his eyes. I had spent a lifetime believing that love was a strategic liability, a flaw to be exploited in others and suppressed in oneself. I was catastrophically mistaken. Love is the ultimate force of nature. It is the earthquake that can reduce the most fortified palace to dust, even one built with billions of dollars. And sometimes love is not a simple, happy ending. Sometimes it is the most difficult, irrevocable, and costly choice you will ever be forced to make. I made my choice. And in the quiet hum of our modest life with Caleb's steady breath beside me, I am learning every single day the profound and permanent weight of its price.